Welcome to the video everyone. This is going to be a quick presentation of the damage meter mod, which recently received a major update. This mod allows you to track your DPS, your damage done and damage taken, and that of your followers or fellow clan members. In order to track another character, you walk up to them, use the radial menu, and you select this track character option. By default, the mod allows you to track up to 6 characters, but in this instance I raised it up to 10 because it's admin configurable with a command. If you are at the limit and you track a new character, it will simply let you do it and just remove the very first character you tracked. Let's spawn some NPCs to get some data here. Gonna spawn some alchemists and hope that all these people actually want to fight. Oh, he's just not doing anything. I was like, why is it not? As you can see, we have PvP enabled, so I'm hurting them too, sadly. But collateral damage. Right, so let's spawn some more, so we have some more data. And just a couple more alchemists. I'll make this drop follow me. Make it aggressive. Just so it gets to shoot some things. There we go. Oops, sorry. Let's spawn one final wave. Oh, by the way, you saw they don't actually need to follow me in order to be logged. Which is also a new addition. Both players and thralls are now handled with this character tracking feature. Up to now the character tracking was only for players and you only had access to tracking your own followers, the active ones. Anyway, now that thing's settled a bit, let's look at the data here. As you can see, we are on damage done, but first of all, how am I using my mouse? It says right here, hold F1 to interact. This key now is configurable. But let's look at what I can do with it. If I hover over the bars, I'm gonna see the damage breakdown. So right now we've been using like singular types. Me and Xander were using melee, Tefra was using ranged. If I were to use like a poison dagger or something, then it would split it up on the breakdown window to show you which percentage of the damage came from what. Anyway, we can see damage taken. This would reset the data, this would toggle the combat log. We'll go over the UI stuff in a bit, and it also allows me to move them, so not in a bit, we're actually going to go through them right now. I can also resize the windows, move them anywhere on the screen, and now they also snap, which is also a new change. Up to now it was kind of hard to pixel position them, but now it's kind of easy with the snapping. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is the segments panel, so this will log each individual fight. We're currently viewing just the last one, that's why there was only one person taking damage. If I switch to total, then we will see all the data totaled up. As you can see, there were people taking damage in this instance, and you can see the breakdown of the damage taken as well. Those are probably some bleeds from daggers or something like that. Anyway, this DPS for the total is active DPS, so it's not counting any long down times, only the times during these fight segments. And we can actively go back to previous fights. It will store the last 10 segments, but the total will keep running a counter of everything that happens until you reset it. So that's about it as far as the data part goes. As I showed you before, you can toggle off the combat log if you do not want it there. Maybe you just want the progress bars or something. It still logs the data and you can just check it later if you feel like it. You can also minimize the main window if you don't want any distractions and just enjoy the floating damage numbers, because those are also from this mod. And you can find it, the restore button down here, but that is also configurable. You can pick which corner to minimize to, because as you can see, I already have another mod here, which is my minimap that has a corner button, so it's for compatibility reasons with other mods. Right, so let's look at the settings, which also got a major revamp. This button would, like everything has tooltips, so you can just read them, but this would reset to the defaults. Let's move the window a bit so we can actually see it, and turn back the combat lock too. This would adjust the theme color. You can actually preview it. This is why I wanted to move them back in sight. This would show, set the opacity if you don't want him to be opaque. This would scale them down if you have like a low-res monitor and they're taking up half the screen or something. Or if you just like small fonts, because this is still going to be resizable. Right, this is the segment timer. As the tooltip says, we do not have a combat state here, so we're just waiting for a fixed amount of seconds between events, and if that passes, then the new data is going to get logged in a new segment. This 7 seconds I find is very nice for dungeons. Generally, you loot, you move on, and the next fight will be logged into a new segment, so it's pretty nice. But if you find that you're dodging a lot and the same fight gets like multiple segments, then you can bump this up a bit. This is the bar refresh. It just controls how often these bars are refreshed. So not much to it. This is where you pick which corner to minimize to. This allows you to get a pop-up, like this reset pop-up would show up every time you log in if you have data left in the window. This would allow you to timestamp things. As you can see, it's quite late, so that's the disorganized speech syndrome. Yeah, we get to turn these off now. And the floating damage numbers, which you can now individually toggle for followers or the player character itself. On the left you have the hotkey. You can rebind these the way you want. If I rebind it, then it will change the tooltip here, but we want it back on F1. This is the player bar color. I could make it a different color if I wanted to. This will always be your color, so you can easily recognize it. I'll set it back to red. And these are the colors for any track characters or guild members or anybody. These are automatically assigned like the tooltip says, but it uses a hash of the name as an offset. So basically, if you end up in a situation where all your followers unluckily land on the exact same color swatch here, then you can nudge it a bit by renaming the actual followers. This is I figured it would be a nice compromise, and this way the you don't have to, like, we don't have to save which color is assigned to which thrall or anything like that and bloat the database, or so it just gets assigned based on their ID and name and stuff. Right, so that's about it as far as settings go and pretty much everything. So there you go. Enjoy, and thank you for watching.